If you are looking for a little bit of magical guidance for your business and for your life this month, then you are in the right place. Hi, I'm Daire, the brain and biz coach for coaches, healers, and all kinds of online service providers. I'm very much about that action taking, strategic thinking, but I also like to weave a little bit of magic into everything I do. So, if you're ready to get going, let's do it. So, if you have checked out any of my readings previously, then you'll know that I like to bring a little bit of flair to them. This month, we are going to be doing readings for your human design type. So, step one, make sure you know what your human design type is. I popped a link in the description box for you to go and find out if you don't already know. If you do already know, just scroll down to those timestamps so you will see each of the human design types listed out in the description box with a corresponding timestamp. So you can just click straight through to that and get your reading. I'm also going to be finishing up with a reading for everybody for the month of February. So definitely go check that section out too. Now, without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, so let's start with our generators. So, generator friends, let's see what the cards have to say to you this month. Okay, so first of all, we have the Page of Materials, and it came out in reverse. Now, usually when I see this card, it's all about some money stuff and the beginning of a change taking place. Usually a positive change, obviously, like we always see the positives in these cards, which means in your case that all of the work that you've been doing has been paving the path, has been building the foundations for you, and all you can do now is keep going and keep trusting and keep knowing that it is all going to work out the way that you want it to. But just don't keep expecting some kind of overnight success or overnight transformation, because that is not how you are designed to work. You are designed to work creating it for yourself. And that is exactly what you are doing. So just know that everything that you've been working on up to now is paying off. Even if you can't see it physically in front of your eyes, you very soon will. Now, the next card that came up is the Seven of Voices, also in reverse. Now, this card is all about being discerning and being wily. So you'll notice that it's covered in foxes. And it's also a reflection card, so you can see how this image is reflected here. Or rather, this image is reflected here. And this is a call to really go inwards and take some time to reflect on how it is that you want to be showing up and how it is that you want to be working. Because what can often happen for the generators is that you will keep working and you will keep working and you will get into this place of being on autopilot and just going through the motions. And that's not true alignment. That's not true fun and joy in what you're doing. So even if it's just for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, take some time to just reflect on how you're spending your time, reflect on how you're spending your energy, and just ask if this is what you want your reality to be like. If it is, that is amazing. Keep going, keep doing what you're doing. And if you notice maybe some areas that could use some tweaking, now you have the insight and you can actually do that. The next card that came up, and I love this card, this is one of my favorites. This is like the ultimate abundance calling in card. So when the Muse of Materials comes up, it's like you're there, you have created the vision, you have completed the cycle of manifestation, you have called in that income that you said you wanted, you have done the damn thing. And it's not, and while I said income, like this card is about abundance specifically, and that doesn't necessarily mean money. It absolutely can, but it might be that that's not what you've been working on, or that's not what you've been desiring. It could be that you've been wanting an abundance of connection and friendship. It could be that you've been wanting an abundance of new ideas. It could be that you've been wanting an abundance of quality time with your loved ones. Whatever it is, like that thing that you've been wanting an abundance of, it is here this month. It is just gonna appear around you, you are going to know that you have it. It's a done deal. It is already in motion. It is here. And then we also have the Four of Voices. Now, this card is all about the daydream. So it's about thinking about what's next. So it's a beautiful card to follow this, which is like the completion of a cycle. It's like the wish granted card. And then this is almost like the making a wish, the next wish. So this month, I know a lot of people do their planning in January, but for this month, I think it's going to be really magical and powerful for you to be like, this is what I want next. This is your moment. This is your moment to refine the vision. Maybe make some tweaks, maybe not make some tweaks, whatever comes up for you. But I really, really, really want you to do a little bit of like wish making this month. Do some visioning, do some brainstorming, do some dreaming. It doesn't have to be anything structured or formal. Just allow yourself to think about what you would like. Like, what would you love to have called into your world by the end of February? What would you love for your new reality to look like? Let your mind wander, let it play, and don't forget to make a note of all of the answers that come up. I also just want to pull you a card from this deck too. Perfect. Perfect. So this is Tehaz. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but this to me is like the ultimate meditation card. So very in line with what we were saying here about introspection and going inwards and allowing yourself the time and space to get quiet, get centered, and get clear. This is just a confirmation that this is something that you want to be prioritizing all month long. And I feel very strongly that it's going to be some kind of new daily habit is going to really see you through. So it might be something like meditation, it might be something like journaling, it might be something like breath work, whatever you love to do that really allows you a sense of calm and a sense of space. That is something that you need to bump up to the top of the priority list this month. Okay, now let's move on to our manifesting generators. Let's see what the cards have for you this month. Ooh, I like this combination. Okay, so first up, we have the Knight of Materials. And to me, this is the card of like action, but like steady action. So you're not sparking and like hustling and pushing and forcing. It's more like staying with your intentions, all of the goals that you had for yourself, or the habits that you have been trying to implement. Just keep on keeping on, keep showing up for yourself, keep doing the thing that you said you're going to do. You don't have to be always like trying to force these radical shifts. Sometimes it's about just showing up and doing the thing. And that's very much what this card is about. So I want you to really be mindful of that for the whole month of February. And then next we have the Moon, and this came out in reverse. And what I'm feeling very strongly for you guys is that you need to be releasing some things, specifically around the pressure that you put on yourselves to always be doing more or doing better or doing quicker. So if you notice any of those thoughts coming in, any thoughts like, oh, I should really have done this by now, or oh, so and so is doing that, maybe I should do that. Catch those thoughts, write them down and release them. And this could be literally by journaling, it could be by writing them on a list and burning them, it could be tapping, anything that allows you to just release those things that clog up your mind, because they're not serving you, they're not helpful. And we only want to be saying yes to things that are actually helpful. The next card that came up is this one. So she's gorgeous and sassy, the Nine of Inspiration in reverse. Now, to me, she is like the symbol of creative confidence. She is fierce, she is sassy, she's doing she's strutting her stuff across those sand dunes. She's on it. She knows her power, she loves life, she's doing all of the things. And because it came out in reverse, I feel like that at some point this month, you are going to start feeling flickers of doubt about what it is that you're working on, what it is that you're doing, what it is that you're prioritizing. And that is natural. It's part of the cycle. We all experience that every now and again. And with that foresight, with that knowledge, you can put measures in place to make sure it doesn't stop you. So think about the things that make you feel unstoppable, that make you feel like a force, and make sure you have those things available to you all month long so that whenever those self doubts hit, you're prepared. Now, something that I love is to create a killer playlist. So I have themed playlists that make me feel really like strong and successful and unstoppable and all of these things. So if music speaks to you, then that could be something to try. But again, any tool or any tactic that has worked for you in the past can work for you again. So just have a little think about what kind of activities help you like really amp up that confidence. And then we have the 10 of emotions. And this is all about having a community around you. And it doesn't, when I say community, I don't necessarily mean a community in the sense of an audience or a network. It could be like your soul family, your friends, your biz buddies, the people who are there to cheerlead you on, sometimes to challenge you, always to support you. Remember that you get to lean on them. Remember that that is what they're there for. That is what they're there for. And I know it's not always the easiest to ask for help or to accept help, but the people who love you want to give it to you. Just like you want to give it to them, you would not think twice about helping or supporting the people you love, and they feel the same way. So if you have any of these flickers of doubt this month, if you have any bumps along the road, know that your people are here and they have your back. I love this. Is a beautiful card. So Bhakti, and it's actually very, like you can see some similarities here. So there's the pink moon taking up the sky. And this is, so whenever I see butterflies in a card, it's always a symbol of transformation. And I feel like the transformation for you is really going to be around learning that you can trust, learning that you can lean on people, learning that you can rely on them. And that's not always the easiest thing to accept. It's not the easiest thing to become, but you are on your way and you will continue to be on your way if you are willing to like do the risky thing and lean on your supporters when you need them. So really just be intentional about doing that. Really give it a go. And when you do that, when you have this support system and when you do the work to like call in that confidence and release all of the things that are just not helping you move forward, that's when you will start creating the results that you want to be creating. That is when you will have the reality that you have been calling in since I don't even know when. So you know what to do. For the month of February, pay attention to these bad boys. Okay, manifestors, it is your turn. So let's see what we've got for you. Okay, so first up we have the Strength card. And I love this for the manifestors because something about a manifestor is that they are a force when they are in alignment. Like if they have an idea and they have like real and true soul level excitement about this idea, there is no stopping them. There is absolutely no stopping them. They will make it a done deal like that. And that is something that I want you to remember. If something is meant to be for you, then it will be for you because you have that power. You can just speak it and it's essentially there. So don't try and force things that don't feel good. If you have doubts about an idea or an offer or an opportunity or a strategy or anything, it is not the right thing for you. When you feel excited and you feel the tingles and you feel like, that's something that I could do, that's something that I would like to do, it's a sign. It is a sign for you to take that next step. Then we have the Justice card. And when I see this card, I often think about this sense of balance. And because it's paired with strength, I want you to think about what you're saying yes to and what you're saying no to. Because whenever you say yes to anything, you are saying no to something. And whenever you say no to something, you are saying yes to something else. So just make sure that you are perfectly happy and content with the things that you are saying yes to and the things that you are saying no to. Next up, we have the Seven of Emotions in reverse. And so usually when this card comes up the right way up, she seems so sad. Like, doesn't she just look so sad? And it's almost this sense of just being overwhelmed by the feelings. And because she came out in reverse this time, I feel like that's just not going to be an issue for you, because I'm not saying that you don't feel things. Of course you do. Like, I'm a manifestor and I feel things very deeply, but I'm also able to pay attention to when those feelings are actually serving me and when they are holding me back. When I identify that a feeling might be holding me back, then I know that I can pull something out of my bag of tricks to help me move through it. So tapping works really well for me. Sometimes just going for a walk or phoning a friend and having a chat, all great for just releasing this pressure of emotions that are dragging you down. So if you notice the flicker of any kind of feeling that is putting you in a place or a state that you don't want to be in, then rely on those tools that you already know work for you. And then we have the Five of Materials in reverse. And I love that she's in reverse. So this card, typically, when she's the right way up, is all about like money difficulty, especially in terms of like your money mindset and your money thoughts and beliefs and feelings about money. So because she's in reverse, I'm just like, no, it's not going to be an issue. You've done the foundational work. You have been showing up for yourself. You have been taking all of the steps that you know how to take to really deal with this head on. So I feel like this month is not going to be the month where you are going to feel like you're just in this perpetual state of struggle. And I love that for you. So take full advantage, my friend. Take full advantage. And then we have Anahata. I love this card. Love her. So this is all about your heart, following your heart, really loving what you do, really being engaged by what you do. And it makes perfect sense to be following these two cards. So we talked about having a lot of more awareness around what you're saying yes to and what you're saying no to, and really listening to your heart as you do that, because it's very, very easy to get stuck in your head and start thinking about the things that make sense and the things that will be logical to do, instead of paying attention to the way you feel. And especially if you are an emotional authority, you want to really allow yourself, give yourself the freedom to make decisions based on how you actually feel about them. So I get that it's difficult. I get that it's not the default setting. I get that we have not been trained to feel into decisions, but I want to challenge you to do that this month. So give it a go. Let your heart lead the way. Just try it for a month, see how it goes. Okay, beautiful projectors, it is your turn. So let's see what we have in store for you today. Ooh. Okay, so first of all, we have the wheel. Now, this is always a reminder that things happen in cycles. So we go through phases of feeling a different type of way and focusing on a different type of thing. So if you are noticing a considerable shift in the way that you're feeling about your work this month, don't judge yourself for it. Don't beat yourself up about it. Just know that it is part of the cycle. It's one of the phases. You are not at any point doomed to be living in a certain way forever. It is just simply a step along the way. And you'll come back to this step again and again and again, but you will never stay here. You will always be moving forward. You will always be moving around this wheel, this cycle, these phases. And like looking at these cards together, there is going to be something that is going to feel really difficult this month. And you'll have this feeling of sort of wanting to burn everything down to the ground and start over. Again, it's part of the cycle. That's okay. And often that's the part of that's an important part of growth. It's like that scorched earth feeling allows the trees to then grow. So don't be afraid of that. Don't hold back. Don't stop yourself from doing the big scary thing. If the big scary thing is letting go of an offer that no longer feels aligned, for example, then allow yourself to do that and trust that something new is coming for you. Because when you see these next cards, you'll know that it is. So the Eight of Emotions. So I just want to like talk about this card for a second. So she is in like, this is clearly an eclipse, like the sun is covered, and yet she is walking in light. And what this symbolizes to me is that even if you are blocking out everything that you have around you, all of the voices, all of the advice, all of the well-meaning suggestions, you can still be in the light, you can still be in alignment, you can still move forward. You don't always have to be taking in what other people have to offer. So I want you to be super, super discerning this month about what you listen to and what you don't. Because we need to scorch that earth a little bit, because then we have the Six of Materials, which is this gorgeous abundant card where calling in the money and calling in the results just feels like a dance. It feels easy, it feels joyous, and you can't get to this place of like growth and flourishing and just juiciness without also accepting that everything is part of the cycle, without burning down the things that no longer serve you, and without shutting off some of those voices that are not helping you get to this next phase of the journey. So one more card for my beautiful projectors. Oh, and this came up for the manifestors too. So Anahata, so really leading with your heart. And like I said, discernment. So I feel like discernment is going to be such an important theme for you this month. Discernment about what you keep and what you let go of. Discernment about what you listen to. Discernment, and let the way you feel about these things be the thing that like brings that discernment to the surface. So allow the way that you feel about things to be the thing that makes your decisions. Your feelings are not fluffy nonsense. They are there to guide you in the right direction. So pay attention to them. So last, but by no means least, we have our beautiful reflectors. So let's see what the cards have for you this month. Interesting selection, and they all came out in reverse. So first of all, we have the Two of Voices, and this card is very much about the spark of something new. And being in reverse, it could be that you feel a lot of sparks right now. It could be that you're feeling sparks from every direction, lots of new ideas, lots of new opportunities. And as a reflector, it could be that you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed by all of the options that you have at your disposal. Now, the card that follows it is the Five of Materials. And because she came out in reverse, I'm just seeing good things for you this month. So usually when she comes up the right way up, it is very much about difficulty with the money stuff, particularly in terms of your mindset and the way you feel about money. And as she is in reverse, I feel like that's just not going to be an issue for you this month, as long as you just trust yourself. The thing about reflectors is they just absorb other people's energy, but they also see what others can't see. So when you're surrounded by options, when you're surrounded by opportunities, remove yourself from any groups or containers where a lot of advice and suggestions are offered, just until you make your own decision, because you will make the best one for yourself. You don't need to be hearing other voices. You just need to trust yourself and reflect for yourself. And when you do that, you will get yourself into this place where you're not worried about the money coming in. You don't have those concerns because you really do trust the path that you've created for yourself. And which is just compounded by the Eight of Voices, which is the next card. And this is effectively saying that you're not blind, you are not tied in place. Like, you have the power and the agency to make these decisions for yourself and have them turn out exactly the way you've been dreaming of, because everything is flourishing. So the Ace of Inspiration was the last card, and this is like almost, it's like the like fertile ideas are taking root and flourishing, flowing out of you and turning into something really, really beautiful. And that is what is possible for you if you just temporarily stop listening to what other people have to say about your ideas and trust your inner guidance. It will never steer you wrong. Oh, and then we have Brahma. So what is coming through really strongly is that once you've allowed these ideas to flow and just dazzle you, once you've taken that time to go inwards and reflect and really decide which is the one that you want to run with for right now, it's time to look at how you can make that happen. So Brahma like brings a lot of masculine energy to the mix. So I want you to think about the structures, the boundaries, the systems that will allow you to really create this flourishing, beautiful vision that you have for yourself. And that doesn't necessarily mean like creating a crazy project management board or anything like that. It could just be spending a few minutes getting really clear on how you're going to make this thing happen. So there's a lot of going inwards and trusting yourself coming up across all of the readings this month, but especially for you, my dear reflectors, it's time to get serious. All right, so hopefully you have checked out the reading for your human design type already, but let's just go ahead and pull a few cards for the collective, because I feel like there's going to be a lot of stuff unfolding this month, so let's get some guidance. So these are cards for everybody, and as such, some things will resonate, some things might not, and you can absolutely pick and choose whatever feels best for you. So first of all, we have the Empress. Now, she is essentially the ultimate feminine. So this is all about the feminine energy. And when she's in reverse, this means that you've either been suppressing that completely and just staying in your masculine, staying in the action, in the doing, or you've like gone over to the other extreme and you're so in your feminine that you're not actually getting stuff done. So if either of those is the case, it's time to just pause, recalibrate, and try to work on bringing a little bit more balance back in. Because speaking of which, we have Temperance, who is all about the balance. So really being mindful of how you balance the masculine and the feminine in your life, in your business, in your mind, everywhere will pay great dividends, because we can't really thrive while squishing down part of ourselves. And we all have the masculine, we all have the feminine. Both of those elements are extremely important in our life, in the way we function, in the way we feel, all of those things. Like, we need to be able to handle both. So take a little bit of time to really think about what that looks like for you. And it will manifest in different ways for every single person watching this. And that's okay. That is absolutely fine. That's the way it should be. We are all different. But I just want you to be mindful of this and really think about what is going on for you in this sense. And the next card that came up was the Emperor in reverse. And so this card is all about the masculine. And so when it's in reverse, it's that same thing of either you are so in your masculine, so in the doing, so in the ticking of the boxes, so in the doing, pushing, forcing, that you don't allow yourself to feel or receive anything. Or the reverse is you are avoiding your masculine so much that you're not doing anything, you're not achieving what you want to achieve. So the fact that these both came up together with the balance card is really a reminder that you need to be accepting and acknowledging both your masculine and your feminine. And we all have both of them naturally within us. Neither is wrong, neither is bad, neither is one that we want, neither is one that we don't want. We need to learn how to integrate them and have them both be in us all of the time. And that doesn't mean that we're always going to be 50% in our masculine and 50% in our feminine. Like sometimes we'll be 80% feminine, 20% masculine. Sometimes it'll be the reverse. Sometimes like that number is going to jump up and down for everyone. And that's fine. It's part of the cycle. But we have to learn to be okay with holding both of them within us, because that's how we reach this place of alignment and with calling in this vision that we all want to create. And when you can do that, you can really create this sense of wholeness within yourself and around you. Because when you are less fragmented inside, you are less fragmented on the outside, which means that people want to be around you and you magnetize people more, both in a personal sense. So with friends, family, they'll love being around you, but also in the sense of in your business, your audience, your community, your network. They'll just be attracted to you. They'll want to be in your space and they'll see parts of themselves in you more, which creates that sense of relatability and likability that is so useful when you run a business. And then last but not least, we have the tapas card. And this is actually the card that I pull up most frequently out of this deck. And it always ends up being something around a need for solitude and thinking time. And that makes a lot of sense with these cards that have come up, because I feel like you really need to almost take inventory of the way that you've been showing up in the different areas of your life, so you can see for yourself on paper in black and white where you've been showing up in your masculine and where you've been showing up in your feminine. It might also be useful to just explore which is more comfortable for you and maybe why. And when you've got that clarity, you can start looking at how to readdress that balance a little bit so you don't feel quite so all or nothing. So that's it for the collective reading. I would love for you to go ahead and hit the comments and just let me know your biggest takeaway from your reading, either the collective one or the one for your human design type. And if you are loving these readings, if you love that they allow you to bring a bit more magic and a bit more momentum into your business, then go ahead and hit subscribe, because I do these every single month, and that way you won't miss the next one. Okay, thank you for joining me today, and I will see you next time.